Hello, everybody. Welcome back. So today we're going to be going over one of the key ways to apply for business funding and get the biggest bang for your buck. No pun intended. So we're going to be going over what does it look like to actually apply with relationship managers versus applying online or even just walking into a branch, speaking with the first person that you see. This can really make or break the application process and make it worth your while to get the funding that you're looking for. Uh, if you don't go about this the correct way, it will significantly limit the amount of funding that you can get access to. However, if you do go about this strategically, you can walk away with large amounts of funding at 0% interest for your company. And then one quick note, if you haven't already joined our school community, uh, go ahead and click the link in the description and get on board so you get all the notifications, become part of the community. You can collaborate with other people in the community as well as we grow, and we can all learn together. And then, as always, if you do have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to leave a comment here or just reach out to us, support@rehabreserves.com. Be more than happy to collaborate with you. So for today, what is the small business relationship manager and what is the big deal about, applying with them versus just going online, applying, or like I said before, walking into your local branch and applying there. So when you apply online, it's all system, generated decisions. You're going to submit the application online and essentially your credit is going to get checked automatically. In this day and age, using AI of some sort more than likely, and that's how the decision is going to be rendered. And so it's not actually going to be a human being looking at the holistic approach to your business, what you're using the funds for, what your experience in that industry might be. Your company might only be a couple months old, but maybe you have years of experience in that industry yourself, and now you've just recently gone independent. Doing an online application is not going to take that into account, and especially if you don't have a relationship established prior to applying, that will significantly impact your ability to get approved. So the online applications for business funding it's really a 50-50 chance of either on the one half you're going to get denied, or on the other side, you can get approved, but you're not going to get approved for large limits. The other option that a lot of people, it's a misconception. They think that they can just walk into their local Bank of America branch, their local U.S. Bank, Wells Fargo, Chase branch, and apply. The problem with that is when you do that, you show up. You might not have all your ducks in a row. You might not, make sure that you have your articles of incorporation, your EIN letter, your operating agreement. You don't already have, an account set up yet that's already been seasoned and you put some cash in there already. You don't already have that relationship established. So, of course, when you walk in, they'll probably say, hey, would love to assist you. Here's an application, slide it across the desk, go ahead and fill it out. Or they might just ask you some questions. They punch it in on their end and they're going to apply right there on the spot. That is not the best way to go about it. It's very similar to doing an online application, even though there is now a human being involved in the application process. It's still essentially all system generated. And those approvals, again, you're going to see low limit approvals. It's a higher likelihood that you're probably going to get approved doing it this way than applying online, because there is somebody there sitting across the desk from you and helping you to apply. But you're not going to get the large limits of funding that you're looking for. The real key is to work with a small business relationship manager or a vice president or a regional manager, someone that's in a higher level of leadership at the bank and that works specifically with small business owners like you who are looking to get approved for funding for, expanding their company. Maybe you want to launch a new product line, or maybe, you're in real estate and you're doing some fix and flip, some project, you're trying to develop some land or whatever the case may be. Those people, the BRMs as we call them, business relationship managers, they're going to be the key to your success. The difficult thing that a lot of people run into with working with these guys is finding them, getting a hold of them, right? Because if you're just trying to walk into a branch and you're like, hey, can I speak with the small business relationship manager? Chances are they're not even at the branch, because a lot of times these guys and gals, they, manage a number of different branches and they're bouncing around from meeting to meeting, meeting with clients. And so their schedules are usually already pretty full, and it's, it's not a high probability that you're just going to walk in, they're going to be there, they're going to be available to see you on the spot. So what we do here at Rehab Reserves is we, have over the years tracked down and developed relationships with a number of, business relationship managers from across the country, various banks, national banks, regional banks. And, these guys, they know that, we bring them high quality clients. And when we bring them somebody, we've already vetted their personal credit file. We've already vetted what they do for business, their company financials. We've already helped set proper expectations. And one thing that, BRMs don't like is when, a client comes in and they have unrealistic expectations and they say, hey, I want to get access to, $150,000 at zero interest, one application. And again, the business, fundamentals, the time in business, the cash flow, deposit history, banking relationship, none of that is there and it doesn't support that. Now, you're essentially coming in a much weaker position than if, you had the proper expectation set as to, hey, this is where you're currently at. This is where you want to get to right now. This is, what you can realistically get approved for, because you don't want to try to bite off more than you can chew. Because if you go out and, you submit the application with the small business relationship manager, and on the application, you're trying to, inflate some numbers, and you're trying to, tell them, hey, look, if I can get X amount, I can do this, this, and this, and this, they're going to, become kind of skeptical. And a lot of time they want to also, mitigate their risk. And banks, over the past couple of years, they have seen a lot of people going delinquent on their products that they have with the bank. So they have tightened up and essentially buckled down their restrictions on who they're willing to lend to, how much they're willing to lend to. So it does come down to, are you prepared? Do you have proper expectations set? And are you organized and ready to go when the time comes to apply? And then also little things too, making sure your credit doesn't have an active duty fraud alert. It's not frozen, right? Your credit's not frozen. Your utilization is in a great position to apply. You've already maybe set up, a company domain, company website. You have a company email address attached to your domain. You've registered with Dun & Bradstreet. You've checked your business credit on nav.com to make sure that your business credit score, is in a good position and it's not low because you have a UCC lien on the business on a different product, from a different lender. So there's a lot of moving parts, again, to make sure that you not only work through the right channels to apply and get approved, but you also have everything that leads up to that point in time prepared so that when you do apply through the correct channels in the right way, you get approved the first time for the amount that's, worthwhile. Right? Working through, all of this and jumping through all these hoops, connecting with the right people, and then applying and getting approved for, a $3,000, a $5,000 credit limit. Obviously, it's not worth your time. It's not worth their time. They want to see you get approved for $20,000, $30,000, $50,000, on a single application. That's great for them, right? Because they want to see you come back and continue working with them. So they want to develop that relationship and that trust. And so, oh, sorry about that. And so they want to, make sure that, they're setting, again, a great precedent and showing, hey, look, this is what we can do for you. They deliver, you get access to the resources, you go out and deploy them responsibly, and they want you to continue obviously coming back and working with them in the future as your company grows. So again, the small business relationship manager, that is the key to success for business funding. It is a longer process. Again, finding them, meeting with them, having all your ducks in a row prior to applying, and then again, this can happen with any large bank, essentially, right? But they will want you to have a business banking relationship set up, so that does require setting up a business checking account, funding the account, letting the deposit post, and then their application process is going to be a much more in-depth process. They might ask for recent bank statements, personal business tax returns, a year-to-date P&L on the company, a debt schedule that you might have for the company. So again, it is a way more involved process than just doing a simple application online or a simple application walking into a branch. But the results that you will see for the amount of funding that you can get approved for per application will be significantly greater. So I hope this information was helpful. And again, if you do want to work with us, if you're curious about what we can potentially help you do, feel free to connect with us. And then again, if you haven't already, please join our school community. We'd love to have you be a part of it. And we do host weekly webinars where we open ourselves up, for an hour to do some Q&A. So if you have any questions, you want to take a deeper dive into the information that we're providing you here, on these calls, and then also on our course material that we provide as well. Would love to go and discuss that further with you as well. If you do need funding in the next 24 to 48 hours, quick turnaround process, we do have a couple partners. I'll leave that in the description as well. You can connect with them based on your company revenue and time in business and what the need is there. Our process does take from start to finish, if you're ready to go, typically 2 to 4 weeks until we get you approved, you get access to the funds, and then you're ready to rock and roll. And so again, we've done this for hundreds of clients, coming in, getting the funding they need, getting out the door, on the 0% side, and even some other large business deals that people are looking to do that's maybe not 0%, but again, helping you find the best rates, the best payment schedules, staying away from those daily and weekly payments and high interest rates, or even variable interest rates. We're always looking to stick with fixed interest rate, fixed 0% for a certain time frame, lock you in at a competitive rate for maybe a 5-10 year period, something like that, monthly payments, whatever we can do again to position you for success is what our goal is. And not only helping you get the funding that you need access to, but also making sure that you have a plan in place on how you're going to execute that funding and use it responsibly, so that a year and a half, 2 years out from now, once you've already leveraged it, you paid it down, now you're in a position to go out and get more funding, either with the same financial institutions or going out and building new relationships and applying elsewhere, and they can see the track record of your company with another bank. And now you have banks competing for your business because they can see that your company and the service you provide is valuable, and you've already shown that, hey, look, I can get funding, I can use it responsibly, I can pay it off in a timely manner. And now that's going to open up the door for, again, larger amounts of funding with the current relationships you have, or even with new ones. So I will see you on the next video. Until then, take care. God bless.